Hello, beloved. Welcome to our channel, where we grow closer to Jesus every day. If you love learning how to strengthen your faith and deepen your prayer life, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a blessing.
Let's talk about something that's, well, it's really personal and often incredibly painful. We're going to talk about the reality that sometimes the deepest, most profound wounds don't come from our enemies. They come from within our own family. And that just hits, doesn't it? It's a truth so many of us feel, but we almost never say it out loud. You know, no one really prepares you for the moment you realize that love within a family can be complicated, conditional, or maybe even absent, no matter how good things look on the outside. But here's a really powerful way to reframe that pain. What if that growing distance you feel isn't a failure? What if it's not a punishment? What if it's actually a divine act of protection, God clearing the way for your true purpose? So, first, let's explore what this actually looks like when the idea we have of family love just doesn't match up with reality. And, the signs are often really subtle, and we're kind of trained to ignore them. You know this feeling, right? That tension in the air, the little sarcastic comments that are just a bit too sharp. When you share a success and you're met with silence. You keep telling yourself, oh, it's normal, or I'm just imagining it, but there's a whisper deep inside that knows this isn't the kind of love God intended. And this brings us to the main idea we're digging into today. What if God is the one orchestrating this distance, not to hurt you, but to actually shield you from what could hurt you down the road? This right here, this is such a critical shift in perspective. That feeling of abandonment that just cuts so deep. What if it's actually a sacred process? It's almost like God is reaching down and pulling you out of emotional quicksand so he can finally align you with your real calling. Okay, so how can you even know if this is what's happening in your life? Well, there are some pretty specific, recognizable signs that God is intervening. So let's break down 3 of the most revealing ones. All right, here they are. Inconsistency, quiet competition, and emotional indifference. Now, they might just sound like words, but once you learn to recognize these patterns, it's the first huge step towards seeing God's protective hand at work. So first up, we have inconsistency. And look, this isn't about someone just having a bad day. We're talking about a pattern of conditional care, where love and attention are there, but only when it serves them. This just captures that emotional imbalance perfectly. You pour out your heart, you show up, you give. But when it's your turn, when you need that same support back, you get excuses, or worse, just silence. That kind of dynamic will absolutely drain the strength God gave you. All right, let's get into the second sign, quiet competition. Whew, this one is subtle. It's that jealousy that just kind of simmers right under the surface. It's really the same spirit that Cain had toward Abel, this deep inability to truly celebrate what God is doing in your life. Have you ever felt this? You share a win, something you're so excited about, and the air just goes cold. You can feel the tension. That discomfort you're feeling, it's a sign that your growth is highlighting their insecurity, and God will not let your calling be suffocated under that weight. And finally, we have what is maybe the most painful sign of all, emotional indifference. It's not loud, it's not hostile, it's a cold, draining neutrality. They just don't engage with the highs or the lows of your life. It's like you don't even register. And that's the bottom line. These are relationships that drain your spirit, but they never offer anything back. And this is when God begins to create that distance, because he knows your destiny simply cannot grow in a polluted emotional environment. Now, this process of separation leads to a really challenging phase, one where it can feel like God has just gone quiet. But you have to understand, this silence is not absence. It's a period of intense spiritual surgery. Look here. On the left, you see what our human heart feels. Abandonment, total confusion, just absence. But on the right, that's the spiritual reality. God is performing an operation. He's pruning away what's unhealthy. He's preparing you for what's coming next. So what comes after the silence? The reconstruction. This is the beautiful part. This is where God helps you rediscover who you are, outside of all those toxic dynamics. An identity that's founded on his love, not their approval. Just look at this contrast. The old you maybe made yourself smaller just to keep the peace. You were defined by what they thought. But the rebuilt you, that person walks in freedom. They are defined by God's love. They exist without having to apologize for it. This isn't just about losing a relationship. It's about gaining yourself back. And this is the ultimate freedom. The healing isn't just on the outside. It's a deep internal shift where their opinion, good or bad, no longer has any power over how you see yourself. Now, this whole process leads to a very mature stage of healing. It's about understanding the absolutely vital difference between forgiving someone and giving them full access to your life again. Let's really let this sink in. Mature forgiveness is not about pretending nothing ever happened. It's about blessing them, praying for them from a safe distance, and honoring the boundaries that God Himself helped you build for your own protection. Let's look closer. Forgiveness. That's for your freedom. It breaks the chains of resentment. It's unconditional. But reconnection, that's about their access to you. It requires trust. It is absolutely conditional. You can forgive completely and still wisely limit access. They are not the same thing. I want to leave you with this question to really think about. If you've ever felt that guilt, I want you to know that your boundaries are not a lack of love. They are proof of your healing. They are a sign of wisdom. So if there's one thing you take away from all of this, let it be this. What felt like rejection was actually God's redirection. What felt like a painful ending was really the beginning of His protection. Don't let anyone pressure you to reopen doors that God has closed. Your peace is a holy thing. Guard it.
Thank you for watching. If you or someone you know needs prayer, send us an email. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for daily blessings.